What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to CLTAviation. Hope you're on a fantastic day today. And today we have CLTAviation13's brand new 1:400 scale GeminiJets model airport display. I hope all of you are excited for today's video, as this is so exciting. CLTAviation13 has been such a pillar of the model aircraft landscape here on YouTube for quite some time, and this resurgence here has been so much fun to watch. I know all of us all the time just say we want to see more CLTAviation13 videos, and buddy, if you're watching this, thank you so much for all that you do. Whether it's consistent or not, we really appreciate all of what you've done for our community, and videos like this are just so inspiring. So do know that your work is very much appreciated. I think the views and obviously the likes and so forth tell the story. So this is brand new model airport display, and we're just going to go ahead and watch this straight through. It is absolutely amazing, and I'll add some tidbits about the realism and so forth here in a moment, but CLT is down to the details. He loves all the various pieces with the gate hybrids along with the lights and so forth. So this is going to be an awesome video. I hope all of you are excited to watch it. Definitely go check it out on his channel if you haven't already as well. He definitely deserves all the recognition for this display. And buddy, once again, thank you for all that you do.
Everyone,
let's get started.
CLTAviation13 with a very exciting video for you guys today. This is the unveiling of my Pinecrest International Airport. This is based out of the Pacific Northwest region. So
I hate to pause it so early on, but first and foremost, I just want to say it is so cool to see such an amazing display here. And buddy, you have done an amazing job assembling this. So you got a little bit of inspiration from the GeminiJets layouts, obviously, with that island concourse. That's his concourse A here, and we'll talk about that more in a moment. And you also have a concourse B. I really like so many unique elements about this display. There's so many that catch my eye immediately. So we'll obviously talk about them through the video, but he's first going to start by introducing the airport, then running over the concourse displays, and then we'll have the actual airport updates. So I'll try to let it play for at least a few minutes coming up here, but I really wanted to acknowledge how good of a display this is.
a lot of the routes and airlines that you see today will somewhat relate to that particular region.
Also, really happy about his new camcorder. It's really good.
I'm going to start with a little bit of a longer intro for this. I want to kind of show you guys the different details of the concourses, and some of the little kind of the granular details of everything. So I will, of course, put chapters in the video. Hopefully by the time you guys see this video, the chapters will already be there. I won't do this every video. It's just going to be for the first one, so this video will probably be a little bit longer than the next ones will be. But first off, I want to start with the main terminal. So this that you're seeing, the gates that are closest to us, is Concourse A. I'm going to start on the right section of it first for you, so we can kind of get an idea of what is going on here.
Okay, before he even gets started, just really want to highlight how awesome of a display this is. So the amount of thought, effort, and realism that is put into this display, I really think speaks for itself. Concourse A here it appears to be about 18 gates or so, somewhere in there. But as you can tell over here, the attention to detail, and he'll talk about this through the video, is immaculate. So I love the domestic side over here. That's exactly what we have, and I'll let him explain the gates, but really note that ground foil detail along with the markings and the precision of it as we go through.
So the thinner piece of that concourse is kind of indicating that this is the kind of the domestic piece of the terminal.
Realistic to real life.
I.e. there's no international FIS capable gates. Any aircraft that parks at one of these gates is going to come from a domestic city or a place that is already pre-cleared. So you'll see that there's 3 Southwest gates. I have a Sun Country gate, well, not necessarily a Sun Country gate, just a common use gate that is being occupied by Sun Country. I have 1 JetBlue gate. You'll see 2 JetBlues. The other one is kind of a common use
I'm assuming
gate.
he's talking about this one.
Sometimes you might see Frontier there. Sometimes you might see 2 Spirits or 2 Frontiers or something in those regards. Down to the bottom, you'll see Alpha 14, Alpha 12. Those are my 2 Delta gates.
I love the angles, by the way.
Moving
really
on to
good
the
job.
central piece of the terminal. And again, this is kind of just me, of course this is a fictional airport, but I want to make it as realistic as possible. So this is kind of the brain of the airport, right? So this is going to be kind of where your main food court would be. If there's the airline clubs are there, all that good stuff.
Love the thought behind it.
The centerpiece of that.
There we go. Sorry about that, everybody, but it happens to the best of us. But once again, this display is just immaculate in its details and all of what goes with that.
And on out a little bit, we have our United gates. So United is the one that we'll get to it in the actual part of the video, but that gate is a United gate. And also on the international piece of it, we're kind of lingering into it. I also parked United there as well.
He's talking about
this is
I believe.
Kind of a limited or smaller setup, so it's kind of got to make use of whatever I have. But with that being said, we will take a bigger look at the international portion of the concourse. So this
Notice how much
the
wider it
international
is.
part. So typically you will always see anything that is coming in from an international destination, of course. It's going to utilize these gates. I do see there, you will see the Hawaiian Airlines 787, not an international flight, but it is a wide body aircraft that can park on this terminal. So that is kind of another example of something that will be here. You'll see the Aer Lingus. They do come pre-cleared from Dublin, but again, wide body gates are kind of a premium, so they're still going to park on the international.
He'll touch on
part of the concourse.
the actual parking here in a moment.
You will
for
note there
internationals.
is a couple little variations to the hearts or
This
to
is
the
his
markings
jam
of
right
the
here on
actual
these hybrid
stands.
gates.
So right here we have Alpha 8X, which is a hybrid wide body gate. This one you will not see used too much. You will probably see it used a lot more in the summer when things start picking up at the airport here. It will probably increase the wide body count. We'll get an additional airline or so. So you'll probably see a little bit more activity on that gate in the near future.
Great job on the GSC,
The reason
by the way.
is you will see the dash lines obviously are going to block the adjacent gates. So Alpha 8X takes out Alpha 6, and it also takes out the Alpha, what is that, Alpha 10, I believe. So one wide body gate for 3 narrow bodies is not ideal. That is kind of my fault in the design that we did. By the way, this mat is all designed by Layover Layouts. I kind of just put the idea
That's
on
an
paper,
amazing job. This is so
and
good.
him and I basically coordinated all the little details to make this mat. But so this was totally my idea. Only thing I kind of wish I had a wide body gate over here instead.
That's what I'm
that
talking
just
about for
took
the
up
Aer
2
Lingus
gates
flight
instead of
and
the
so
one
forth.
that is taking 3. So that's kind of the main reason why you won't see that all the time. I will zoom in on the Aer Lingus. This is Alpha 4X. So Alpha 4X blocks Alpha 6. These 2 wide body gates that are hybrids can only park anything up to an A330-300 or 900 Neo, and it can go up to a 7879 777-2. So anything past that will have to be used on the primary wide body gates, which I do have 2 on the corner. So the where the Finnair is parked is a dedicated wide body gate, and I'm kind of only thing I mean by that is
Love the Fantasy
not
Wings
gonna
ground
block an
service
adjacent
equipment.
gates,
I think he got
so
that
we can park
at
anything
some
up to a
point between his
350-1000,
intermission.
787-10,
So looking really sharp.
777-3, all that good stuff can fit over there, or 747-8. There is a narrow body gate in between there. And then same thing over there is the Hawaiian 789.
Definitely some Gemini
limitation-wise
inspiration on
for
that.
aircraft, it's going to be the same as before.
Love it.
And then the
Look
other
at those
side's
air
gonna be
conditioner
kind of
units,
harder to
too.
see, but we do have a bunch of narrow body gates over there behind there. But you'll see it once we get through the video. So up next,
This is super
the
cool.
dual taxi area.
This is really sweet.
behind the domestic side of the concourse.
I love the
You'll
max
kind of note that there
wingspan details.
is, we got the markings put down, max wingspan of 135 feet. So it basically means anything that's up to a Group 4 aircraft can utilize this dual taxi alley without having any, I guess, conflicts per se of aircraft hitting each other. So the line in the middle is for Group 5 aircraft, which obviously will be anything above a 757. So the reason that's kind of there is because, as you will see, we have our cargo section. So anytime
Love
if I have
this.
UPS kind of displayed in the video, you'll see them use that Group 5 line so they can taxi down the alley to get to their respective parking spot. You'll see UPS. So this cargo area again is 3 parking spots.
Hopefully he's able
I'll
to get
kinda
a
mix it
cargo
up
building
here
in
and
the
there
future. I
for
think that'd be really
utilization
cool.
purposes,
But
but
so far, man,
just a
it's
nice
so great.
little
Look
touch
at all
over
those
here.
fuel trucks.
Moving on down, we have Concourse B,
This
which
is
is going to be
extremely
primarily
cool.
used by Alaska Airlines and its partners, with the exception of WestJet and Air Canada. So these gates are interesting. They are 2 narrow body gates that were also converted to 2 regional gates. So you'll see like a Bravo 7 Alpha, you'll see Bravo 7
Extremely intelligent
Bravo,
idea.
and then you'll see a
Big
Bravo
fan.
8 Alpha, which I can park Q400s, CRJs, Embraer 175s. So basically just gain 1 extra parking spot if I'm fully utilizing the regional gates to their capacity. And then on the rest of the lineup are narrow body gates that can go up to 321s or 737-900s. So we'll go ahead and get things started.
This is a really good shot.
Video
This is really good. Just take a look at the ground foils and so forth.
Where the planes are going, where they're coming from, etc.
Love the concrete color as well.
Do things back when I made these videos. So first up, we're going to start with that Delta 757-200.
Note all the gate extenders
that aircraft is heading to Atlanta. Going on down over, we have a Southwest 737-800 that is awaiting pushback. You'll kind of note there's that Frontier aircraft that's going to taxi by it. The Southwest 800 is going to make a flight over to Vegas.
Definitely would like to shout out the extended lines too to
Got
the
a
road.
Southwest Max 8 that's getting
very
loaded
realistic
up for a flight to Denver.
The light poles are also super cool.
And then the beautiful Southwest Special livery is getting loaded up for a flight to Chicago Midway. We have a Sun Country 737-800, which is getting prepared to head out to Minneapolis. Next up, we got two JetBlues, both sporting their new livery. We got a Wingfence 320 and a Shotcut 320.
This camcorder is really good, by the way.
320 is heading out to, it's heading out to New York John F. Kennedy.
Audio is fantastic, and the zoom with no focus sound makes it so smooth. So great job, my man.
Boston Logan. Pulling into the gate, Alpha 9, we have a Spirit A321. This aircraft is arriving from Las Vegas. And then behind it, we have an American Airlines A321neo coming in from Philadelphia. We'll hit that section in a minute. We are going to go over to our FedEx.
Oh yeah, the tripod, by the way, extremely smooth. Great investment. I noticed that tripod. It's so good. So huge shout out. This makes the viewing experience so enjoyable. Look at that belt loader from, I think, Fantasy Wings. That's really nice. No, it's an actual UPS one. Look at that logo. Look at the attention to detail on that belt loader. That's awesome. That is so cool.
One of my personal favorite models.
This is a good one.
Cargo-wise is the
Look at all that Fantasy Wings GSC. I believe he probably bulked up on that intentionally. I can notice. That is so cool. Great investment, my man.
At the beginning of the video, or at some point in the video, here's our dual taxiway. We have our Frontier A321 with service to Denver. We have a Southwest 737-700. This aircraft just arrived from St. Louis. It is holding at spot 4.
I like the spot numbers. It's really cool.
737-800. That was the first Southwest that we covered.
Look at that tripod and how still it gets.
I want to move the tripod down for you guys because we got a really sweet angle here of Concourse B.
Definitely inspires me a little bit. I have to be honest, for my smaller displays to get back to that tripod.
Which is a new model. I'm looking to do a video on this as well.
We're working with a $1,500 camera setup here, but
honestly,
so worth it. Just look at this.
Do a little unboxing video for you guys. But here's the WestJet Q400 with non-stop service to Calgary. And then next up, you have an Air Canada CRJ900 with service to Vancouver.
Very good variety of routes.
We have that.
And models.
Alaska Horizon Air, Embraer 175.
It's so cool to see all the new models as well that he's got over the last 4 years. So glad to see him collecting consistently.
Here's our standard livery of the Alaska 737-900. This aircraft will be making a flight to New York John F. Kennedy.
Very realistic. I love it. Now you just need that jet set, cones, and GPUs and so forth, and the marshalers. So hopefully, the
Alaska Max 9
he'll get onto those at some point here in the future.
Anchorage, Alaska.
But man, it is looking so good for an initial update.
Here's our One World 737-900 with nonstop service to San Diego.
Extremely impressive. Plus Hawaiian.
Beautiful Hawaiian Airlines A321neo, and this aircraft will be heading out to Kahului. And last but not least, at the end of the concourse there, if we can focus properly, we have the Alaska Airlines Max 8. This aircraft will be making a nonstop flight to Washington Reagan. Next up, we will take a look at the international side of the concourse. I will start with
the concourse is so good.
Beautiful Porter Airlines E2 of the 195 version.
Look at that. So nice.
This aircraft is making a flight to Toronto Pearson. Scrolling over to our Hawaiian
Those
Airlines
gate extenders are so awesome.
7879 is making a flight out to Honolulu. Such a beautiful.
Love that camera work. Very impressive. Livery. And all that ground service equipment, once again, extremely awesome.
On pushback, we have the Iceland Air Max 8 getting ready to head out to Reykjavik, Keflavik. Didn't cover this in the beginning, but I kind of have a little hard stand area over here. Some of you that are familiar with Charlotte's airport, you'll kind of recognize that this is actually the West Hard stand that's
really
at the
cool.
real life Charlotte airport. It's not as accurate now since they've kind of repainted a little bit since then, but just kind of using it for the video. Right here we have a Frontier Otto the Owl, I think that's Otto, 321. This guy is on a hard stand for maintenance, so he's just gonna be sitting there for a little bit. Here's a Hawaiian Airlines A330-200, and this aircraft is just kind of overnighting for an additional flight to Honolulu in the morning. I'll get another angle of the Finnair for you guys when we get on the other side, but at least for now, this is our Finnair A350
Look at all that
with
GSC.
service to Helsinki. Next up, the Green Machine, the Aer Lingus A330-300.
What a great looking plane, that's so cool.
With nonstop service to Dublin.
GSC bulk has paid off.
We have a United A319. Can't remember if I didn't cover this guy. If I did, my bad. This guy is coming in from San Francisco. Here's another angle of
Look at
that
that
Finnair
look.
getting loaded up to Helsinki.
Never thought I'd see the day where CLT13 would be jump
well
cutting videos. It's so
another
cool.
angle for our Aer Lingus
Love
aircraft that is heading to Dublin.
Get the old mold
I'll
on
also
it
do
too.
the same for that
with the
United
rolling
that's
gear.
coming into
That
the
was
gate.
new at that time when that model came out. His collection's so
Also,
impressive.
before I forget, don't want to miss anything. Have that Disneyland
Nice little touch for
737
fun. I think
900.
that's real cool that he added that.
arriving in
Love the
from Los
effort.
Angeles. And last part of the video will be
Take a look at this
departing
runway.
aircraft.
Wasn't
For runway
expecting this,
18.
but this is nice. Take a look at that 1.8. That looks really
We'll
cool.
start with the
This one's
Airways
new, I think. That one
7878
looks like a new release.
with
I'm not sure if it
nonstop
is, but
service
if it
to
is, really nice.
London Heathrow.
Very nice model regardless. And then you got Allegheny, which
Next up
he made
in
an
the
unboxing of
queue,
that. Look at those
We
lines.
have
Look at the lines on
Allegheny
that.
A321
Very
that we just
realistic.
reviewed not too long ago, with
Really
nonstop
impressive.
service to Charlotte.
Really good attention
Going
detail.
on down the line, we have our Delta Airlines A321 with service to Minneapolis.
And that appears to be,
Last but not least,
I can't tell if
in
that's
the
the
queue,
Gemini or NG.
The
I think
United
that's the
Airlines
Gemini, but it looks really
737
nice.
MAX 8 with nonstop
Yeah,
service to
that
Newark.
looks really nice.
All right, guys. So that is my new model airport. This
That's
is
awesome.
the
Look at
fictional
that.
version of it. I have another fictional airport that is in the pipeline. It will encompass the entire platform that I have here. It's in the design phase right now. I don't really want to say too many more details because it's still going to be a little bit. I'm working with layover layouts again, but also I'm in the queue, so it'll take a little bit till we get to that point. But I meant to do this at the beginning of the video, so I apologize, but I want to give a huge shout out to Layover Layouts. He has been obviously instrumental in the designs of all of these mats, and I cannot thank him enough for kind of putting together my pencil and paper ideas and turning it into a reality. If you guys haven't checked his work out, please do. He's on Instagram. I'll leave a link of a website somewhere in the description of the video. Price-wise, things, it can get a little expensive, but yeah. Thank you again for watching today's video, and I'll see y'all in the next one.
All right, so just first and foremost,
Yeah.
want to say, like I said earlier in the video, CLT13, thank you so much for what you do, man. This is just so awesome to see the resurgence here, and obviously, regardless of how long and so forth, it's just greatly appreciated, and such a awesome breath of air to see this. This was one of my main inspirations to get to this point today, so it's just so eye-opening to see this, and that true joy, passion, and fire for aviation is just so cool. So CLT13, just an amazing job. So yeah, this display is so awesome in so many ways. I really want to highlight some of the key components of it. Obviously, the concourses are just fantastic. That first shot was just fantastic. Let's look at this first shot again. Really good attention to detail. I love the narrow concourse section here. I think they did a really good job on that, along with the curved roof here. Obviously makes it extremely realistic and down to a T. Really clever idea to wall up this concourse as well. That certainly saved a bunch of assets and resources. So big fan of that. That turned out really good, and we're able to maximize the gate capacity here. So I really like this, and I think that he did a very good job pulling this all together. So CLT13, very well done, and love those light poles as well. So very happy to see those going in full effect too. I love the various panels right here, or actual pieces up there. I'm not sure if they're display boards, or I think they're lights probably. That would explain why there's not any lights over here. So I'm sure that's what those are. But it looked really nice along with the gate extenders. I think that's really realistic. It definitely helps out the actual spacing of it all, along with the actual international gates having that little curve off piece, I think that's really nice. So very good job on that. Taxi lanes all look really nice. I like the cargo section over here too. I think that conveniently fit in. This little spot may be a great place for a cargo building, so that's awesome. And hopefully, yeah, would love to see some cones and marshalers on this display long term. Those are high dollar assets for how small they are, and they really take precision. But I'm sure he would agree that the realism aspect would definitely continue to go up. Like, it's already an A as it is, but I think really it's an A plus, honestly. But A plus with the cones and marshalers just finishing it off would be so cool. But regardless of the case, it looks super awesome. So that all turned out real well. And then I also want to really highlight, these hybrid gates. This is really one of his favorite aspects of the airport, and I know he loves it. So here's a good look at A8X. Really good attention to detail, very sharp. I love the dash lines, and overall just an amazing mat. It really turned out super well with the spacing and so forth, and it's just the right size. This is exactly, a good balance of it all, and you can definitely keep this creative where it's not overwhelming, but it's also very reasonable to, continue to think of new ideas and so forth. And you can even extend it if you wanted to in the long term, which is quite an exciting thought. But this building right here, very good. And I love the extending pieces for some additional context. I think that's extremely impressive. So that runway ingress also looks very nice. And I really wanted to note, I about mentioned it, but I was going to wait till this point in the video. How narrow this piece was right here, I was kind of surprised to see how narrow this got on the line, but it looks really nice, and that's how planes would actually turn anyway. The tire lines are indicative of that too. So just amazing realism and attention to detail and so forth. So welcome back, CLTAviation13. So happy for you. This is just awesome, and I'm loving the model airports and what you're doing in the unboxings and so forth. So excited to see what's ahead next. I'm really excited to see, no matter what happens, what it'll turn into. It's quite an exciting time, and just want to say, man, keep up the great work. You've been such an inspiration to all of us. This display is incredible in so many ways. Love the realism. You've done an amazing job, and I know that you love how realistic this is too. So keep up the great work. So excited for what's to come, and I hope all of you enjoyed the reaction today. So with that being said, that'll do it for today's video. Everybody, thank you all so much for watching. Take it easy, everybody. Stay safe. Trust the process. Do you love and love you do. My name's oh my gosh. CM Aviation. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon as CM Aviation is signing off.